All right, how we doing today, everybody? Nightwish Army, shout out if you're there. OGL Schmitt here. This is Custom Creator. This is a reaction been wanting to do for a while. This is for Tuli. Tuli's been a channel supporter for quite some time. She's a five-star general in the Nightwish Army. She wanted me to do the song For You from Marko from Nightwish. I can't pronounce his last name. If anyone there wants to, in the comments, let me know how to pronounce it properly. He's Marko to me. I think any Nightwish fan definitely knows who Marko is. The debates can rage as to who the best Nightwish singer is, but everyone thinks Marko's a badass. This song is from the Pyre of the Black Heart album. This came out in 2020. The English version did. I think the Finnish language version was released a year earlier. Marko was working on this from 2016 on. I think he was doing this around the same time Flora was working on her Northward project. Uh, but I've wanted to get the entire Nightwish family in here. We've done a lot of Nightwish reactions. Danny did a great job with them. We've done reactions to After Forever. I still haven't done Revamp. I need to do that one. We did a Northward reaction. We've done Forrest covers. We've done some of Taria's solo work. Uh, haven't done Marko yet. So Tuli has given me the perfect reason to shine the custom creator spotlight on a pretty amazing musician. So I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get into this. Got a new setup here. I'm going to try it out. Let me know what you think. I don't want a big still photo covering up the screen, you know? And some people said they want our faces to be bigger so they can see them. I'm not quite sure why anyone would want my face larger. But hey, all right, For You by Marko. Let's do this.
Your star fell into a black hole, even slid to the horizon. Drawn to the lights, extinguishing one by one by one.
Okay, so I want to talk just a little bit real quick. It's kind of early for a pause, and I apologize. But that intro was really fascinating. There was a really solid bass line. Marko's vocal talents get a lot of the attention, but he's an amazing bassist as well. But there's a really solid bass line and some weird kind of atmospheric effects kind of circling it almost. In that sense, it kind of gives me some Tool vibes. Um, Marko called this album hard prog. So far, it's living up to that. Some really like deep bassy sounds as well. Uh, I'm gonna start from the beginning again and listen a little more, and then we'll talk some about Marko's voice. So I know Marko is known primarily for an amazing, gritty, loud belt. He supplies the aggression in a lot of, or supplied, I should say, the aggression in a lot of Nightwish songs. Wish I Had an Angel, Bye Bye Beautiful, uh, End of All Hope, um, Dead to the World. There's a lot of songs that were just sort of taken to the next level by this, loud, gritty belt that Marko had. And I know for a fact that Marko has wanted to explore other sides of his voice. He said when talking about his work with a Arion album called The Theory of Everything, he talked about wanting to how when you're in power metal or symphonic metal or metal of any kind, you're basically expected to sing really high and really loud. And he said he enjoyed that, but there's also other things he wanted to try to explore. So the first thing I noticed about his vocal here is how clean it is and how soft it is. Um, he's got a sort of a nasality focus to his sound that gives it some cut. He's got a great vibrato. It's very even. It's almost operatic, um, and I don't think I've heard him add grit yet, but his voice is still so expressive. The song itself just it feels very desolate. You get the feeling sort of like floating through darkness, and maybe those sounds that are kind of coming in and out are just sort of maybe shadows or echoes or objects that are just sort of passing by. Um, I'm going to pull up the lyrics here real quick and read them, and then we're going to go back and listen to the rest of the song. Are Your star fell into a black hole. Events led to the horizon, drawn to the lights extinguishing one by one by one. Looking back, the road had darkened, and the path was lost in time. But the light, it never made you see, never helped you anyway. What chance brought our hands to clasp, when faces could not be seen? How can love echo before it speaks? Just a hand held in the dark. One stumble and it's gone. If I try to let go, please just stop me. I'll do the same for you. I'll do the same for you. I'll do the same for you. What chance brought our hands to clasp, when faces could not be seen? How can love echo before it speaks? Before it speaks. I'm not quite sure what it seems to be about some sort of relationship gone wrong or someone lost. I'm not quite sure what specific experience he's referring to. Let's listen to some more of the song here.
Whoa, what chance brought our hands to clasp when faces could not be seen? How can love echo before it speaks? Just a hand held in the dark. One stumble and it's gone. Oh, if I try to let go, please just stop me. I'll do the same for you. I'll do the same
So the funny thing about that is the last thing I said uh, before I restarted was Marko had not used any grit yet. At least I'd mentioned that in the last pause. And the minute I restarted, boom, that was the Marko voice that we all are familiar with. But in this context, less aggression and more just a lot of pain. It felt really anguished. Uh, Marko has had mental health issues. That was one of the reasons why he had to leave Nightwish. He seems to be doing much better now. He's doing shows around Finland. He's collaborated with Tarja. They've been having a great time just doing these little tours. I don't want to call them tours, but it's basically series of shows. So I'm really glad to see him doing better. So this seems to be maybe about someone he's lost. I don't know if they've passed away or it seems like they've just kind of drifted apart. Uh, he talked about hands clasping when faces could not be seen. So maybe it was someone that it's either there was an unknown aspect of their personality. Like the first thing I thought of was I met Danny online in a Discord. So we'd never seen each other, or at least he hadn't seen me. We hadn't seen each other at the time. We were just exchanging text. He's much more extroverted than I am, but he didn't see my face for the longest time or hear my voice. Um, so I don't know if it was a situation like that with him, or it's just someone he met, but the means of communication were limited, or just there was just an unknown factor in the relationship. Either way, uh, it didn't turn out well, just from the sound of the song. Uh, I like how there are sort of like hard rhythmic elements and sort of melodic elements that sort of drift in and out. And I also like how towards the end there, Marko was turning his voice into a rhythmic instrument because he was going to town on those consonants, just really hitting them very aggressively, like they owed him money. Um, and then every now and then he would take all that grit away and sing in that a beautiful clean voice. Uh, but at this point, even his clean voice, there's an intensity and a level of anguish to it. So it's not the heaviest song musically I've ever heard Marko do, but atmospherically and emotionally, it's definitely heavy as hell. So let me go back. I think there's more to go, and let's keep going. Really impressed by the composition, though. It's not what I would have expected from Marko. I've heard a lot of his work. I've heard from Tarot. I've heard his Nightwish stuff. It definitely seems like he kind of spread his wings and experimented with this album, which is good. I think freedom is once you've done one thing as an artist for a while, I think giving a chance just to sort of like give you a blank slate and say, hey, you can do whatever you want. I think that can be an amazing thing for an artist. So let's continue. Those voices in the background. So I forgot to mention previously there were vocals towards the end there, at least before that big instrumental break, where like Marco was playing with the spacing of them, was putting them way back in the mix, even like adding harmonies, and then that instrumental break, it felt like it was keeping the groove of the song with that, the sort of desolate floating through the darkness feel. And then it kind of picked up an intensity. The guitar work got a lot more frantic. I guess maybe that is like the when depression sort of turns into anxiety and fear. But when that passed, there was this moment of tranquility at the end. So I guess it sort of felt like journeying through a severe bout of depression and anxiety brought upon by thinking about a lost friend or loved one. Yeah, really heavy stuff, especially if you know Marco's history. Uh, so I've been talking about this a lot longer than I was hoping to make this reaction around 15 minutes, but it's Marco. It's his first time on Custom Creator. There's a lot going on there. So I really like this. I really like this song. I've I listened to this album when I first got it. I've kept myself from re-listening to it for this purpose, for reactions. Really, really love that. And again, kind of toolish in some things. For those of you that are familiar with Arion, if Tool and Arion kind of collaborated, it kind of had that sound with like the bass heavy groove and the ambience. The ambience was kind of a mixture, I guess, and that's that sort of spacey vibe that Arion brings to the table. And the fact I think Marco has worked with Arion, that might be influencing my perception there. But great song, really heavy emotionally. Just a great listen in the dark room. Marco's he's in a great he's a make he's so good he makes me unable to speak. But Marco's a great musician. Um, Everyone in Nightwish speaks highly of him. He was able to form a chemistry with three completely different singers. Uh, Tumosa said he was a welcome, positive influence, for the band. Like personally, it's sort of like a rock for them. So yeah, let's. Marco is awesome. I'm very glad he's doing well. Guys, if you want me to do more songs for this album, more songs from Marco, more songs from Nightwish, just hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you want to hear. Links in the description to support the channel. Just $2 in a song request goes a long way. Um, we got a Discord too. Definitely could use some loud, passionate voices. So stop by and see us there. Link in the description. But anyway, Thule, thank you very much. You're awesome. I'm sorry this took so long. Wanted to do this a lot earlier. That's on me. But if you got another request, Thule, let me know. Love you guys. Mental health is real. Be a part of the start. Music is your best support group. Listen to it often. Thank you guys very much. Custom Creator is out.